Yo, welcome back to J-Dub Hacks Health, day 75. You can probably tell by my attire what today's episode is about. I'll take a little longer today to kind of talk through these things as well. I get asked repeatedly about supplements, and while I am going to mention what my nighttime supplement stack is, because I was asked last night if I would list it, there is no replacement for sleep, diet, exercise. If you are not checking those boxes, there's really not a need in most cases to talk about supplements. One of the exceptions might be in the sleep realm if it helps you get to sleep, if it helps you stay asleep, and if it helps you get healthy sleep. And there is a difference on all of those, right? And what we need to do. So again, my answer to anybody lately, anyways, what's the most important thing I've done in the last 2 years? What led to the best outcomes and why I'm able to do the things I've been able to do? And after deliberating on it for a while, I think probably sleep is number one. It might be the most important change we need to make in order to accomplish all of the other things. So before I jump into my wind down glasses, my sleep mask that I got here that I wear, I also wear a mouth apparatus at night to help me from snoring and to help not grind my teeth as well. And in my supplement stack, let's talk about why I feel like lately, at least in a lot of talks I see online, there has been a lot more emphasis. Mostly, I think this is due to a guy named Dr. Matt Walker and his book, Why We Sleep. If you haven't read that, go check that out. Lots of great stuff about the importance of it. It's not just the quantity of sleep. That could be anywhere between, like, let's say 7 to 9 hours, right? Would be a decent, healthy amount for most people. That is not set in stone, nor is that the same for everybody. In those sleep routines, right, we go through some different stages. Early on in the night, most of the first part of your sleep, you will go into what's called deep sleep. This is where we do a lot of the cleanup, a lot of the maintenance tasks that are needed. Human growth hormone is released. Tons of other stuff happens during this phase. It is really important that we get this part. Now, all of the parts of sleep are super important, but this one is really going to help you feel better in the morning. What's odd about this one is timing does matter. This is why I set myself a bedtime. You can move it around a little. I try to go to bed at the same time each night, but we're humans, things happen. I think you could probably move this around a half hour to an hour, but as long as you're consistent most of the time, it can move off of there. And I have noticed because I track it, I don't have that much of disturbance in that small window to my deep sleep. But let's just say you always go to bed at 10 and then one night you go to bed at like midnight, 1, 2 a.m., right? Most likely your body is not going to get any deep sleep that night. You have missed that window because it's on a circadian rhythm type event. And so, one of the important parts about kind of trying to get to bed at the same time is we want to get that deep sleep every night. Its cleanup effects, its restorative effects are one of the things you really, really want to get out of sleep. The next part of your night, let's say the middle third and the last third, are filled with a combination of kind of a light sleep area, kind of just normal sleep, and then we're going to go into like REM sleep cycles. These are really important. This is rapid eye movement. This is where you dream and have all those things happen. Most healthy people, 7 to 8 hours, let's say, are going to have 3 cycles, maybe 4, but 3 would be ideal. My sleep pattern, since I've got it together, generally looks like 30 to 45 minutes of deep sleep in that first third. I have then about an hour and a half to 2 hours of REM over the remaining, let's say, 6, 7 hours of sleep. And then the rest, the bulk of my sleep is going to be in that, we'll call it regular sleep cycle. That has not been the case, right? That take a lot of time to get to, a lot of work, a lot of thoughts around that. Your wake up time also matters. It's really important to have a consistent wake up time. And this is because of another thing that right when I wake up, your body sets a clock. For most people, this is a 14-hour window. So about 14 hours later, when I get up and I get sunlight in my eyes, I am going to then start releasing melatonin and start doing there's other chemicals that happen there too. I don't want to get too deep into it. You can read Matt Walker's book. He explains it in detail much better than I do. But you're going to get tired of that. So if we sleep in for an extra 3 hours, that window is now pushed back 14 hours. That release before bedtime, we're going to have a tougher time getting to sleep. Not the end of the world, and stuff happens, y'all. So we can't always stick to that, but this is ideally Okay. So outside of that, like important part, let's talk about my sleep routine. So not all the time, but most nights when I get home, I try to put these wind down glasses on. These are not just blue blockers, but they block a whole bunch of other light if you look them up that helps your body get used to getting ready to go to sleep. It won't do what blue light and bright light will do, which is kind of just spike your body thinks it's time to get up and you're just not putting yourself in a good mood. So you'll notice I'm wearing these. I'm then able to look at screens without much effect to my me getting tired. I'm then able to look at lights. Lights aren't as important. Ideally, we'd want to dim those at night, but hey, I live in the real world with y'all, where if I turn this into a dark cave at night, my family may have a problem with that. So that's not going to work. So wind down glasses help. Not game changers, but I find them to effectively keep me calm and get me ready to sleep. The other, and probably I would say the most important thing I got was this sleep mask right here. I've gone through a lot, so I'm gonna take my glasses off, put these on. This gives me complete blackout, and I mean complete blackout. They have these cups on here that are removable. So we'll get here. It has a couple cups on here. These can come off, they Velcro on and off. You can get the exact fit for your face, regardless of what size face you have. Move these around until you get a complete thing. They're really easy to sleep. If you're a side sleeper, even a face sleeper, they will work for you. And I have found them invaluable. That way, if my wife gets up or other kids get up or just lights happen and they flip on a light or maybe your partner sleeps with the TV on. Cool. No problem. I'm pitch dark. Doesn't affect me at all. Doesn't wake me up. Doesn't get me to those points where at 3 a.m. in the morning, I can't sleep because I got woken up because most of it's dark. Second problem, this is specifically me. My family doesn't like to go to bed early. That's fine. That's on them, right? So they stay up a little later than me. There can be some noise and some background. I have trouble sleeping through this. So this one's not for everybody, y'all. I actually wear the AirPod 3s, the Pros, um, in noise cancellation mode with some Brownian noise in there. And I sleep like a baby. I cannot hear them. They don't bother me. My wife gets up, goes to the bathroom. Doesn't matter. I don't hear it. The only danger to this I've noticed is I really can't hear a whole lot of stuff. So I guess someone could just come in and rob me blind. I'd wake up, all my stuff would be gone. And I'd be like, what in the world just happened? The problem with that it wouldn't work is my dog will go nuts at the sound of anything. And even through all that, I can hear my dog going nuts. So I'm relying on that. If y'all know me, I guess you guys can come over and rob me blind while I'm sleeping at night. But this takes away something I used to do, which is to get really mad at, hey, you guys be quiet. You know, I got to sleep. I got to get up early. I know you don't. Gone. It doesn't matter. They can go do their thing and they're still very respectful. It's not like they're hooting and doing a bunch of stuff, but there's enough noise that can keep me up or someone's watching the TV or, something like that. Not a concern for me anymore. Ooh, just drift off peacefully to sleep. No issues at all. For me, I find this to be effective. There's other types of like just earbuds you can use. There's ones that are made just for sleeping. This headband itself actually comes in a version that you can get Bluetooth headphones and try whatever you can to try to alleviate those issues. All right. Why I made this video was I've been asked about my sleep stack. One of these, two of these, in fact, are not necessarily sleep, but I try to alleviate the pills. I take a lot of supplements, you guys. I've developed a supplement habit. And so I don't want to take all of my pills at once. So I have a morning pill stack. I will list that at some point as well. And then my morning sleep stack, some are specifically for sleep, which I'll mention. Two of those are just because I kind of want to split up how I'm taking those, and they can affect sleep as well. So my sleep stack, I try to take this about an hour before bed. You'll hear varying differences on whether it's longer or shorter. You find what works for you and kind of get that sweet spot, right? I take 1.2 grams of NAC and acetylcysteine. This is basically a precursor to glutathione. It kind of helps with that master kind of antioxidant. It also is, if you overdosed on acetaminophen, it is a drug they would use at the hospital to help you detox your liver, just to show how powerful this can be. I've been taking that daily for a long, long time. Some people only take it before flu season, going in crowds when they travel, stuff like that. That can be effective too. I mix that with 3 grams of glycine, which has a double effect. In some studies, evidence is not super clear. They'll call this like Glynac, right? I think Dave Kennedy has mentioned this too. So that combo together can be very powerful in helping you detoxify your body. Glycine also is known by lots of people to make you kind of drowsy. So get you kind of pre-drowsy. The third magic one I put in there is magnesium L-threonate. Lots of magnesium. I take different versions, glycine and citrate. They are all used for different purposes, but just getting magnesium itself can be very, very helpful to how you feel. If you're a little older and feeling kind of run down or headachy or that stuff, sometimes you need to go get blood work, talk to your doctor. This can be a magnesium deficiency. Okay. So we want to take care of that. Magnesium L-threonate can cross the blood brain barrier. It's known very well for sleep. It is the version I get is made by a company that produces it called Magteen. It is the one. It was actually made with the promise this guy has proven to many sleep scientists that this is the best form of magnesium to get people drowsy and ready for sleep. There's lots of data to actually back that up. So they've tested this. So I use that again. These kind of get you drowsy, kind of help you get to sleep. Not gonna like knock you out. This is not a sleep drug. You can go get those from your doctor. I'm not a big fan of those. Let's talk briefly about that too before I continue on with my supplement stack. A lot of the drugs you can take for this, melatonin, there is some really hardcore prescription ones that you can take as well. Might knock you out, might get you to sleep, but most of those will interfere with those sleep cycles I mentioned before. That's a super important differentiator to know, right? We want those sleeps. Just because you're out and sleeping doesn't mean you went through those healthy things, and you could wake up and get none of the restorative benefits. When you're adding supplements in and out, hopefully you're tracking. I like to track. The reason we want to track is you add something in and all of a sudden, man, I had a bunch more REM, but I had no deep sleep, or a bunch more deep sleep and it knocked out my REM. And like, we want to find that sweet spot where we're getting the right amount of all those. You'll need to experiment for yourself. This sleep stack works for me. It also works for most people. I think Dr. Rhonda Patrick takes almost the exact one. I also take ashwagandha at night. Now, this can also be used in the daytime or post workout. There's lots of use cases for it. I find it has some correlation to kind of blunting cortisol. We want cortisol to be low at night. We want it to raise in the morning. It's a good thing. I know it's known as a stress hormone, but we need it in the morning to wake up and feel energized. So that's why I take that at night. I think I take a gram of ashwagandha. And then my final two for the sleep is I take apigenin. I'd have to look it up, just a single dose of apigenin, standard dose. And I take L-theanine. So L-theanine is the last one. That's my sleep stack related stuff. I also take red rice yeast, which is known to help. It's kind of what statins were built off of, right? If you look this up, I know it's a supplement, it's unregulated. I'm not quite sure the quantity I'm getting. I've been taking this for a long time. I get my blood work checked, and for me, my numbers look fantastic. I'm going to continue taking it. That one you'll want to look up, and that's not a sleep drug at all. I just, again, splitting up the amount of pills I need to take in the day, which is right around about 60 pills. I know, crazy. So that's my sleep stack. I also find I want to sleep in the dark room. I need a cold room. For me, I know not everybody does. I keep my room really cold, right? 60-ish or below. And then you can get in the covers, right? The covers and letting your body kind of self-regulate, it will do a really good job. You'll be surprised that, oh, it's so cold. Well, I get under that really thin cover I have, my body self-regulates and I actually feel fine and I sleep so much better. As mentioned, I add an additional mouthpiece, mouth guard that stops me from snoring. I've been using that for like 12, 13 years, you guys, and no snoring. I'm used to it. I will warn you, if you go out and get one of these, they're made by various people. I use the one by SnoreX. It takes a while it basically brings your lower jaw forward, thus opening up that airway so you don't get a snoring issue. Woo, this can be, tough to get used to. It made my jaw really sore, my teeth kind of hurt, and it took a while to get used to. Now I'm completely used to it. I sleep with it every night. In fact, the reason I mention this is your brain can learn triggers. So because I do the same thing every night, it knows, hey, I put the sleep mask on, I put the mask on, put my headphones in, put my brown noise on. It knows this routine. My brain starts to quiet down and get ready for sleep because all of these routines trigger my brain to be like, oh, mouthpiece is in, it's time for sleep. Oh, we're putting the night mask on, time for sleep. Putting the headphones in with the same Brownian noise I listen to every night, time for sleep. All of this stuff is highly effective to helping you sleep. There's some other tips and tricks in there too before we end this session is we want to try to get our heart rate low. So in order to go to sleep at night, you need your heart rate as low as possible. That might be hard for some of us, right? So trying to avoid things, arguments, doing exercise at home right before bed is not a great idea. is going to elevate your heart rate up high, and it's going to be impossible with a high heart rate to fall asleep, you guys. Your body has to bring it down to a certain rate. I'm not going to name a number because it's really going to be different, but let's most of the time it's 60, 50 for most people. Even if your resting heart rate might be higher than that, that's where your body needs to be to get to sleep and kind of stay asleep. So you can imagine if I calm down a few hours before bed and my heart rate's already low, I'm going to get to sleep quicker because my body will have an easier time bringing that heart rate down. If I'm stressed or arguing or doing something and my heart rate's really high and go lay in bed, now, like normal day, I start here and come down to sleep. If my heart rate's way up here, then I have to work through all that. I am just going to take longer to get to sleep if I have that higher heart rate. I think that's about it to cover. I probably missed some stuff, but I will cover this topic in the future. Please, any questions you guys have, let me know. Subscribe to my channel if you can. It's super helpful. I'm just starting out. If you find this helpful for you, that would be amazing. A little longer session today. Hopefully, you guys loved it. And peace out. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.